Um, I started out in residential. I kind of moved into investment stuff. And then I was in the market in 07 when the market just sort of went and just threw all over itself. And then I decided that I would go into an even slower market at the time, which was commercial. And then I eventually got recruited to Keller Williams to start their commercial division. And then my team kept growing and somebody went, "Hey, you're pretty good at this recruiting thing. Do you want to run an office?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds like fun." And that was sort of like throwing kerosene on the fire. So my life has been on fast forward ever since. The last decade, I've just been on the leadership and coaching side. And I do coaching and I also build follow-up systems for people. Mr. Patrick, what's going on, man? Somewhere in there, I wrote a book called Active Choices, which is sort of where we'll start our conversation today, because I believe, when you talk about the 4 stages of a habit, the stage right in the middle of that, whatever it is, that skill or that knowledge becoming a habit, I always say takes active choices. And an active choice is bringing energy to a decision, right? It's not doing something sort of part-time, right? I can walk around my house all day long and decide to lose weight. But until I get my fat ass to the gym or until I start eating differently, it doesn't happen. I haven't made the active choice to lose weight. I've decided to. I put the post on Facebook, so it's official. I made an Instagram post about it. I even ordered the, weight loss bars, but I have not started eating them. Thus, I have not started losing weight. So any result that we see in life is going to be, directly proportioned to the energy that we're putting into it. So there are 9 active choices that I feel like we make that affect all the other choices and the most important things that we have going on in our life. And the second chapter, so the first chapter is called Choose You, and it's really about putting energy back in yourself. You are your greatest multiplier. When Patrick's in a great place, his business is better, his health is better, his eating, his sleeping is better. It's not like he sleeps better because his life is in a good place. It's when he starts putting that positive energy into himself and does that work and gets out for a walk. That's when those things start happening. And the second active choice that I put, because I believe that it is that closely tied to everything we do, is the chapter called Choose to Fail. And I have broke it down to a formula, and I can just do the formula in the whiteboard for you guys if you want. But it's super simple. It's the speed. Oh, come on. So the speed of failure, the speed at which we are failing. And then I'm going to put another one over here, and I'm going to put a big old plus symbol. Take another text, and I'm going to put it over here. Let's draw a little line here. Come on.
Didn't old-fashioned whiteboards used to be a lot easier?
They really did. So the speed at which we fail plus the speed at which we implement what we've learned from our failures equals the speed at which we succeed. When I go to hire a coach or I go to get someone to do something for me, what I'm always looking for is to speed up my rate of failure. Like, I want to learn how to do listings. I'm going to go to Row. Why? because she's already been on more listing appointments than I will go on in my career. If I work another 10 years, it would take me that long to maybe catch her if she stopped today. So by learning from her and hiring her as my coach, I get 10 years of failures implemented into my business immediately. Okay. So it's always going to be about the speed at which you fail. Another example, I could take, I see Laura Fleming. I see a name out there. I don't pick people that are on it. So let's say Laura gives me a list of old leads. There's 1,000 old leads. And there's 3 in there right now that are ready to buy something. Well, I can smile and dial that list of 1,000 leads. Let's just say I was super efficient and I could get through 20 an hour. That would still take me 5 days a week, 10 hours a day of smiling and dialing to find those 3. And that would take me a week. But what if I could send a text message with an email or a video? It takes me 5 minutes to create a decent video, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes to cut the automation, and I send it out. And in 20 to 30 minutes, I've identified those 3 out of 1,000. So I sped up my rate of failure. That's always what we were looking to do. So I know the program. I know what you guys are doing. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But right now, I will tell you, knowing what I know about it, your success is going to be whoever succeeds and sells the most on this call. I promise you, we will be able to look back afterwards and say that person failed faster than everyone else. And the best part about failure is we all have the ability. We have all have the ability to fail. So let me just take a quick pause there and see if there's any ahas or something that stuck out to you or questions about that. Ro?
Oh, Walden's on the call. Yeah, I was thinking I get the gold star because I'm the excellent queen of failure.
No, you get the gold star because more than anyone else I have been around in the past 5 years, you implement what you learn. You take the time, and I promise you, this is the difference between the top 1% and everybody else. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. And the highest producers are always looking to find out how they did. Even if their numbers make them want to throw up in the back of their mouth, they're willing to look that information straight in the eye. Right? One of my former mentors, and by the way, this was a lady who said this, so I feel comfortable quoting her. She said there's 3 things that don't lie: children, yoga pants, and numbers. Okay? There's 3 things that just don't lie. So if you can be honest about, are you failing as fast as you can? How can you fail faster? How can you identify properties faster? How you can get offers faster? How do you get that in place faster?
You know, Peter, this has been a lesson for all of us in failing, I think, because it's so new. You know, there's plenty of iBuyers, there's plenty of cash buyers out there, but there's nothing like this where a company will go in, use their money to improve or remodel a home, or use their money up fronted at least, where so many people don't have the money to, you know, do all the repairs that are needed or freshen the house up or paint, or they'll get around to it in a year, and now the market's flattening and going down. So we're all beta testing this. This is a beta test program, and it's been all of, I don't know, 6 weeks or something. So we're all failing at a very high speed, I think. All kinds of weirdness has gone on, and we have contracts. It's great. We're all getting through the levels, but we're definitely all learning about failing. The biggest one is talking to listing agents.
And that was from our conversation, probably where if you were going to put forth a multiplication of effort, it would be for everybody on this call to be able to have 3 bullet points that they could talk to a listing agent to get them to listen. Is come away, and it might be, hey, it might be an email. Hey, I think I have a cash buyer for your listing. What would be a good time to connect?
So it's really to start off with the FISBOs and expireds, and then our listings. Our listings are much easier to have the conversations with. They're still difficult, but especially when they've been on for a while. Has anybody else had conversations with their own listings now? Or listings they're going to get that they didn't actually list, that they're doing with the cash CPO instead? Yeah, how's that going with your own sellers? What are they saying?
This isn't me. This is you guys. This is the interactive part.
We've all just had a vacation. We need a vacation from our vacation.
All right.
Back to labor.
It is a Tuesday afternoon. I'll tell you what, let me jump into this. Because I want to go through this next part before we get into full conversation, because I think it'll sort of drive home what we just mentioned, but also put us in a better place. So I mentioned all of us have an ability to fail. That's where we all start. That's level 1. That's 100% of the people out there have an ability to fail. Level 2 is a willingness. They've come to accept that failure is a function of success. When you think about the things in your life that you've accomplished that have meant the most, did you do it perfectly the first time? See, if you think about holding your hands up on either side of you, like I am right now, most people believe, and if your right hand is success and your left hand is failure, that if you're encountering failure, you must be moving away from success. When the opposite is true, it's failure and then success sits behind it. So when you're encountering failure, that's literally the toll that you're paying. Some will hit that failure and quit. Some will hit that failure and they will figure it out. And they will get through it. By the way, you are all entrepreneurs. So as an entrepreneur, I'm going to teach you the entrepreneur motto. Okay. It's an acronym. And the acronym is FITFO. FITFO. That is what an entrepreneur does. Does anybody know what it means? Can you figure it out? Patrick, did you get it? It's figure it the fuck out.
Right.
Okay. That is the job description number 1 of an entrepreneur. You get paid to figure shit out, and you get to try as many times as you want. You only have to solve a problem one time.
I see Laura saying it in the background. You made her curse. That was great. But she's muted. That was great.
There you go. Right. So we've got to get to this place where it's like, go ahead, get out of the way. Let me FITFO. Let me figure it out. Okay, that's that acceptance. A level 3 is a wantingness. It's like, how big can I fail? I'm going to purposely go out and fail at 10 listings today. Or I'm going to go out and get 10 no's today. Or maybe I'm going to see if I can increase it to 15 no's today. And then, the level 4 is, if failing is good, failing faster is better. If you're going to get 1 out of 3 and you could do 3 a day or 3 an hour, which would you rather do? That's just speed. It's just systems, is figuring out. And then the level 5 is failing exponentially. So if Laura uses a script and goes and talks to one other listing agent, and she gets a yes or a no, she could report back to the group. That was her experience. Maybe she had credibility with the person. Maybe whatever reason they were willing to listen. If all of you go out and say that to a listing agent and we come back, we have more data. If all of you will go out and talk to one FSBO using the same script, we will know a whole lot faster what works and what doesn't. And there, as a group, we have an opportunity to fail exponentially. When I started my journey as a coach, for those of you that are in the Keller Williams system or have been, I was what they called a bold coach. And so I was the one that was trains, planes, and webinars and around the country. I would started in the MAPS division at the same time other coaches did. And we would do role plays at our big meetings. And I would, like a year later, these same people would come find me to do role plays. And to me, they seemed very beginner. To me, to them, I was like, they were like, holy crap, you've grown like 5 years. The difference was a busy coach might have 12 clients in a day. I had 100 sitting in front of me for 7 hours all day, every day, 2 to 3 days a week, pinging questions at me. So it was trial by fire, but I got better at my coaching skills because I was forced to, and I had a ridiculous amount more repetitions than the other coach. I wasn't better or worse. I just got a lot more reps at it. I was able to fail at it faster than they did. And it's funny, those people that fail the most and fail the fastest are usually they call this, what's the word? You can write this down. Experts. Experts are the ones that have tried everything. Who do we think is an expert at inventing light bulbs? We all talk about how many times he failed, but he's the expert because he's failed more than us. So when it comes to this stuff and the opportunity you guys have, I don't know the workload. I don't know what you have on your plate. I know that this is an opportunity for you to fail in a way and create systems to fail in a way that you probably never would get this opportunity otherwise. You know, how many people have worked with cash buyers in the last year? I might get 50% of you raise your hand. How many worked with more than 5 cash buyers in the last year? Maybe 1 or 2 of you. How many of you have had a cash buyer in your pocket for 365 days? But if you can just find the right offer, you can get it presented. One of the things that I have found with for sale by owners is it is like everything else. It is relationships. And so what I always talk about is instead of snorkeling on for sale by owners, I want you to scuba dive on them. Meaning, I don't want you to call 20 once. I'd rather you call 10 every single Monday for the next month. Think about if you have a list of 10 for sale by owners that you're just checking in, call them up and be like, let's say Ted's my Ted, today's your lucky day. I am taking you under my wing. Anything you need in the real estate space, I am here. If you have somebody that doesn't want to buy your house and they're not represented, I'd love an introduction. But you and me are going to be good. And if you want to talk about getting it sold, let's have a conversation. And I'm going to call you every Monday and everything you need. Oh, you want tricks for an open house? Here. You want to know who does the best listing photos in the market? Here. And I'm going to have those letters that are pre-written and they're going to go out every Monday. And all I'm going to do is add value. Tell me I can't get 1 a month doing that. Speed of failure. So that's the type of stuff that it sounds like you guys are doing a little bit more manually now. And I would get to a place where, you know, you kind of have a system around it, even if it's like, okay, every Monday night, I'm going to do this. Every Tuesday, I'm going to do this. Every Wednesday, I'm going to do this. But, and then I'll tell you, great way to engage your networks. You want to talk about failing fast? How many of you would like to spend $100 and have people text you houses with for sale by owner signs? Put it out there. Put a Starbucks free $100 Starbucks gift card to all your friends. Be like, hey, whoever texts me the most pictures of for sale by owner signs with phone numbers and the house number in the next week, I'm giving my $100 gift card to. Why? What do you got going on? Oh my God, we've got this great buyer who is making cash offers. In fact, who do you know?
You know, we've got social media posts as well that make it so easy, Peter, all pre-done. We've got 12 FISBOs, for example, FISBO posts with a FISBO CPO that has all the details on it, the post on it, that there's
I'd have that schedule. I'd have that schedule once a week and repeat every 12 weeks.
Yeah, but
I should go out every week.
There's like 500 of us. If we were all doing it all over the country, it would absolutely blow up FISBOs.
Yep.
I think we should have
probably. I don't know if I was able to work this quote into my book, but I always love this quote. Talent changes the way the game is played. Right? Talent changes the way. Look at the way the industry has changed. Talent changes the way the game is played. I remember that was originally said actually about I think Jack Nicklaus, and then Jack Nicklaus said it about Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods was coming up, if you didn't follow his career, he was hitting the ball so much farther than all the other players. They had to physically change golf courses. They spent millions and millions of dollars to change the golf course to make it tougher on him. And meanwhile, everybody else is just trying to catch him. So now everybody hits the ball 300 the way Tiger used to hit it. He changed the game. He changed the way the game is played. So you guys are changing the way the game is played. What we got to do is get more people playing your game. And that's what we don't have yet. We got to get more people playing your game. Or as they said in Big Daddy, let's play a game called I Win. So how are we doing, bro?
Great. I think, you know, a lot of it is around getting okay with the boring consistency that you need for it to succeed in real estate. Everybody can just get something drop in their lap or, you know, do a dozen deals a year. But having a system and being okay with the consistently using that system and those pieces changes everything.
If you want to know how to advertise to find more of these people, one of the things that I preach a lot, if you come across my content right now, you'll probably find this pretty quickly. There are three key moments in the journey of a lead that it's going to cross on their way to becoming a client. And it works for anything out there. All right. And moment number one, and we call them KPIs, key peak indicator. And if you want to track your business and make your life super simple, track your KPIs. It's the easiest thing to do. KPI number one is the moment that someone becomes aware of your business. All right. So I might become friends with Ro, and then all of a sudden she hears that I'm growing a team and she goes, Peter, did you know I coach teams? You could have all the stuff that I use to coach my teams. And I'd go, no, I had no idea. Let's get on a phone. And then key peak number two is the moment that the client takes a step forward. They bring energy to the relationship. They have to do something. So if we talk about, so if I continue the same example, Rose says, I'm a coach and well, let's get on a call. So we get on a call and she says, okay, well, here's my invoice. And as soon as you pay it, we'll get started. So I pay it. That's key peak number 2. I had to do something substantially, take action and begin moving forward. But I'm still not where I wanted to go as the lead. Why did I want to hire her? I wanted to get systems in place. I wanted to know how to recruit. I wanted to know how to feed a team. I wanted to know bookkeeping. So I still haven't gotten to key peak number 3, which is the moment of value. The moment that I experience the value of the service. The moment that I experience the value of having hired Rowena as my coach. That's in that analogy. So when we think about it in terms of a for sale by owner, even if they list with you, we're still only at KPI number 2. What did they want? Why did they list their home for sale by owner? Did they have a negative experience? Are they smarter than the average real estate agent? Shocker, they might be. We need to stop thinking of for sale by owners as idiots that don't know any better. Y'all, some of them have more information than we do. And they're better at spotting market trends. And now with the AIs, they can write the language. Right? So my conversation with them is all going to be about, where are you going? What is it what's your KPI 3? What's your moment value that you're seeing?
That tomorrow instead of that.
And my goal is to help get them there. So my advertising is going to be about, are you trying to get to KPI number 3? Are you looking to avoid the problems? Here are the steps to do that. Right? And you guys know that. You have KPI 3 in hand. We just need to find a better way to convey that. It could be as simple as getting on the phone with them and being like, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You're a for sale by owner. So my guess is you don't want to pay a commission. You want to sell this house quickly and you don't want to pay a commission. If I'm right on all 3, can I have 2 minutes? And they'll probably laugh because you said commission twice. And if they laugh, brilliant. You got your 2 minutes. Say, look, I have a guy that does cash offers. Here's the situation. I'd love to take a couple minutes to talk to you. If now is not a good time, when could I grab 10 minutes? Great. Can I send you a quick invite so it's on your calendar? What's your email?
Peter, honestly, I mean, it's hard for me to admit this because this is my failure, but seeing as we started with failures, I don't think we've actually been talking to them. We've been talking to currently listed homes because that's where we started. And we very quickly pivoted to FSBOs and expireds because the offers are very easy to write. We have a dashboard where you put the data in and it's basically a plug and play offer. They're quick to write. Getting them approved by Zoomcasa is quite easy. They approve the vast majority of them. So throwing an offer together is actually very quick. We've got proof of funds, everything we need. So we can actually call the FSBOs and say, we've got a full market value cash offer. We're going in at list price. We don't even have to cut the price. So it's actually a very easy conversation. I think we just haven't been having it. A lot of our teams don't have FSBOs and expireds coming into their CRMs or their drip set up. A lot of people have got their marketing departments working on it right now. So I don't think we've been talking to them at all. It's not a better way to convey it. It's just conveying it. It's making the social media posts and it's sending out the press release. Everything's written for everybody.
You know what I would do? I would call a for sale owner and say, hey, what's the best email to send you a full price cash offer at? Great. Can I get your name real quick so I know who to address that email? Awesome. I'll be sending you terms in just a minute. If you'd like to talk about them, my phone number will be in the email.
We haven't seen the house at that point, though. We need to get to see the house, which is pretty easy with a FSBO. We all know that. Like seeing a house, it's harder to convert them, and you have to keep going back week after week when you're trying to list it as an agent. But that's not what we're trying to do. They're a for sale by owner. They want an offer. We've got an offer. We just need to go see the house to make sure the house makes sense for the offer. Which
or there you go. Or pick up the phone and just say, look, I've been authorized by one of my clients to make a cash offer on your property if it fits what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Do you have any showings coming up that I can piggyback on right before or after to make it most convenient for you? Oh, you don't have any showings? That's too bad. You should have hired a real estate agent.
Is Christine on? Christine, don't you have a FSBO going on right now? Patrick, you have a FSBO going on right now. The one in Weaver.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I do.
I thought you did. So how did you get the FSBO, Christine?
Well, it was kind of a funny story. So the couple, they wanted to sell right away. They already have a home in Florida, so they're getting ready to go. And they really didn't want to list it, that they were going to sell it for sale by owner, stick a sign out in front. Then it turned into they were going to sell it to a nonprofit friend, back to FSBO. And I said, here, I'm going to come meet with you guys. Let's talk about this. And this was when I first presented it is when we were first still really learning, but I sparked their interest and gave them options, and they were very impressed. And this works perfectly with them because they have two special needs dogs that they really can't get out of the house for showings. And so they're thrilled about it. They're excited as can be, and just super excited to continue the process.
That's awesome. Rose, she just said something that kind of sparked a thought of me. What are the three things in every offer? Price, terms, and closing date. Okay. So what if you could start advertising to your database? Hey, if you've thought about selling in the next 6 months, I may be able to guarantee you a closing date exactly when you want it. Give me a call if you're thinking about putting your house in the market. People are going to pick up the phone and go, how would you guarantee me? Well, actually, I have cash buyer, and I know that they're going to be looking for properties for a while. So they're going to be wanting properties in December just as much as they are September. Oh my gosh, if you could guarantee somebody the close date, how many people, if you called and asked them and said, hey, if I could guarantee you closing date, somebody wouldn't say that right there is worth 6%. I'd pay $5,000 to make sure you guarantee me a closing date.
So to build on that, Peter, 2/3 of them get more than they would have if they would have done a traditional listing because of the refresh, the remodel, the fresh coat of paint, getting their old furniture out, the special need dogs, two special need dogs.
So this is where Ro and I as coaches, we have similar styles. My style at that point is I want to sell the appointment with the least amount of value that I can, so that everything I do when I get there is added value. I set with just my base package, I set an appointment. And then I get there and they see all these extra things they get about working with me. So like Rose said, now, if I'm sensing hesitation, I go on to the next thing. But if you can get someone to set a date, set an appointment with you just based on closing date alone, and then you show up and go, oh, by the way, sometimes it's for more than you might have asked for. Who else do you know that I can talk to? They're going to be pulling open their phone. And you're like, do you want me to email you a CSV? Like, that's where we want to get to. So this is all just speed of failure stuff. And if you have it, I always talk about blocking. So I call them, and Patrick knows this, he works this system, is 45-minute priority blocks. Is you go on focus mode, you ignore your notifications, and even if a client calls in, you can call them back 44 minutes from now, and you're still within an hour and you're still appropriate. Is to go 45 minutes on and just focus on, I'm going to work on how fast can I fail at this? How fast can I fail at, how can I get more for sale by owners in a number in a day? Let me reach out to my friends. How can I get email set up?
Check in with Patrick. What happened the last time you ran getting to know with Patrick and the group he was in?
Oh, my getting to know. How'd you do, Patrick? So I'll put the script in the comments in just a minute. I have a script that I use if you want to practice failure, has worked on occasion. How about that, Patrick?
Yeah, going for no's is incredible, you guys. And having script is also good.
What'd you do, and how much business did you pick up in the go for no?
Well, Peter, when I started to go for no, I was at a point where I was at 0, and I think I communicated with you on a frustration, and we concentrated on going for no's at the 800 price point.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. Within the afternoon, I'd had 3 going, and 2 of them bit, and it really saved me. And as a consequence, it sort of fed into a couple of other. Now we've generated activity, and I don't know if it was these calls or not, but now all of a sudden I got $1 million, I got a 900, I just closed on $1 million, and a 825. So,
and by the way, this was like the 3rd week of May. Patrick was in a place where he had no business and just wasn't really happening for him, and you could see the mind shift happen. And like I started off talking about, he brought energy to coaching. You greatest compliment a coach will ever get is you bringing energy to something that they taught you and getting business out. Yeah. That's the most awesome reward. So
that's a two-way street. That's a two-way street. And so thank you.
I appreciate that,
it motivated me to go out, and thank you, Ro, for saying, hey man, this dude's struggling. Let's create a way for him to sort of come back together. And the energy, you're right, man. Having that positive energy, and you can think you're being positive, but hearing it from somebody else is $1 million. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And going to no's, I still have a problem with getting no's, you guys. I can't go a day and get 10 no's. It's hard to get 10 no's.
Well, and that's, you got to be focused on it, right? You really do, because you can't sort of do it. Like, you got to be focused on getting a no. So I'm gonna this is the script. I just put it in the chat for you guys if you want it. If you're not familiar with Google Drive, which I imagine most of y'all are, you can go on the top, do file, make a copy, and then have it for yourself. So I have used this script, and I can't even tell you, I think it's like 8 or 9 industries now. It always seems to bring business. And so what I tell people to do is say it, and I am not a script person. Ro will tell you I am the last coach that's going to talk about scripts. This is about the only one I do. But it's a quick question for you. I just spoke with my coach, and we set a new goal. My goal is to speak with one person every day that is thinking about buying or selling any real estate before Halloween. My question is, could that person be you or maybe someone you know? Just say it just like that. Okay. You can work it into a text. You can work it into a conversation. And what I challenge you to do is just do one day where your goal is to get 10 no's. And the biggest challenge will be, you will find people that will say yes. I ran a real estate, I was running a Keller Williams Market Center as a team leader, and I wanted to do a competition that everyone could take place in. And the challenge with that in most offices is you have some big hitters that they already have a lot in their pipeline. So they get the listings, they get the buyers, they usually win the awards. And the new people are all sort of, left to fend for themselves. So what I did was I said, all right, you needed to get 10 no's a day, 5 days a week for 60 weeks. And I said, you could get 50 no's a week, right? And most of them couldn't even complete it. Their business was going bonkers. I had one agent that walked to my office. How many no's you get? And Heather's like, no, I got 9 today. And there was a Harris Teeter across the street. I'm like, walk across the street, the Harris Teeter. You can find another no. Maybe it was like 5 or 6. She comes back. I go, what happened? She goes, I got 2 yeses. She picked up 2 buyers walking up and down the grocery aisle trying to find no's. That's what happens when you kind of put that energy out there. So, honestly, if you could just get 5 no's every day in your business for the next 90 days, it is water dripping on a rock. It is unbelievable. I mean, you look at Patrick, just 5 no's a day with that script will change your business.
And Peter, I use the no in everything I do now.
Right.
I go for the no, and if I just went into the UPS store, I was going for no. I was going for the no, and he gave me the yes. And so I don't know, man. When you're already going in with the no, it's just as easier. You just know they're going to say no, and it's a surpriser when they say yes, but it's not anymore.
Right. It's just, look, your job is to ask the question. That's it. Your job is to ask the question.
One of the key things in that script piece was that, or someone can't forget that piece. And in fact, you can almost skip them and say, is there someone you know?
There you go.
And what I've had happen is they say, well, I actually need.
Well, so I always
it's
say
almost like you were asking them.
So if you think about the a microphone, the mic, MIC, as an acronym, that's one I've always used with scripts. It's memorize, internalize, customize. And that's what Patrick's done. Patrick memorized it and he said it verbatim for a while. And now it's become his. Like now it rolls off the tongue and it sounds exactly like Patrick because he's internalized it and customized it. So memorize it, internalize it, customize it.
Another saying coach. You got to say coach, my coach.
Yeah.
People, man, they really thrive off of, okay, this dude's in tune enough, he's got a coach. And he's willing to talk about it. It comes across as what sounding weird necessarily, but it's a key part of the statement.
Yep. Well, Ro, thank you so much for having me on. Y'all, if you got any, actually, you know what? Let me get a couple of ahas from somebody that hasn't talked. Let me just, whether you're muted or your video's on or off, like if you want to just put it in the chat, you can put it in the chat, but I'd love to get a couple of ahas from what you guys heard today. What's something that's going to stick with you? Fitfo. Love it, Ashley. Game on. That's it, baby. That's by the way, that's a mom's description too, right? Yep. Laura, Debbie, Dar.
I know.
Dar?
Ashley stole mine. I was going to come off mute and ask if I could cuss, but now it's really not necessary. I've always been a big proponent for time blocking, but your reminder of the 45-minute priority block where it just has to be pure focus time. You don't take calls. You don't let people walk into your office or into your space. It's just 45 minutes of pure focus. And it's insane what you can get accomplished when all the other distractions are just ruled out. And so I'm going to use that 45-minute priority block to go for no's. Just 45 minutes a day of no's is going to get me to the amount of yeses that I need. Yeah,
That's
I love
like,
it.
that's, if you could set a priority block of 45 minutes to get no's every day. Brilliant. Awesome. Debbie?
Well, I think I like I liked what Lauren actually said, but then also just calling the listing agents and saying, I think I have a cash buyer for you for your listing. When can we get together? When can we talk? And I think that's super helpful, especially with doing these offers. Because then you can have the conversation with the listing agents and find out what the seller's situation is. And
Yep.
um,
Yep. 100%.
mm.
Well, y'all, I trust that today was helpful. And, you know, I would love if Row would be like, oh my God, these guys are on fire because they've been absolutely crushing it. And I'll tell you what, I will let her decide if you guys are crushing it. And if you're crushing it and you guys want me to come back and do something on follow-up or do another subject or something to spice things up, you let me know. But I'll tell Row that they got to earn it. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
All right,
and I'd
y'all.
also-
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter.
And are you, I didn't take host from you. I don't want to like leave the meeting and shut it down for everybody.
Oh, no,
You
it's,
got host.
you didn't. You're fine.
Okay,
No,
see ya.
you're your co-host. Thank you.
Bye.
So any other ahas from today? Mine was that we should focus on, I know we have expireds, that's great. What is holding us back from FSBOs? Is it because you can't see the FSBOs in your CRMs? Because I just had a BGO. Do you all know what that is? Blinding glimpse of the obvious. You all have FSBOs. Most of you do. No, they're FSBOs. They're advertising. You all have FSBOs, even in the non-disclosure markets, on Zillow. And they put their phone numbers there. So anybody advertising their FSBO on Zillow, just go look for them if that's what's holding you back. And Debbie, I totally understand what you're saying about calling the listing agents. FSBOs and expireds are way easier. FSBOs are for sale by owner. All they want is an offer. They don't want showings. They, you know, week or two into a FSBO, they are done with the hassle. That's why they go to realtors, not because we do better pictures. They've got nice professional pictures often, right? The descriptions are often quite nice. Their phone numbers on there. They can't deal with the hassle. We have a cash CPO. It takes all that hassle away. So it should be so easy. So how do you all feel about full forward focus on FSBOs? That was good, wasn't it? In September. I just made
I
that
have
up.
a meeting today with one.
You do?
Mhm.
Ashley. I mean, how hard can it be? They're tired of the aggravation already. Do you know how awful? So most of you use a system like Showing Time, right? So can you imagine all these buyer's agents calling you and saying, can I get into the house at 5? And then you have to call the that's what they're dealing with. It's awful. So what do you think? Full forward focus on FSBOs. Oh, fall forward. It's fall backward, never mind. But it is, we're almost in fall, right? Fall focus forward on FSBOs.
Yeah, and I like the what he said about calling them every Monday and adding, just telling them, giving them like, oh, you know,
Yes.
information, what they could do to get better pictures and what they, you know, you're kind of giving them information that they might
Yeah.
not know about. And then you're helping them.
Yeah.
And they start to trust you and you're
Yeah.
creating a relationship with them.
It's all the scripts we've learned to do with FSBOs. And now we've got the deal winner, not the deal breaker, which is we have a cash offer. I mean, this should be a no-brainer. Okay, so who can hold themselves accountable to call 10 FSBOs? I will do it. 10 FSBOs this week. That's not hard, right? That's 2 a day or something. 3 a day. Put your hand up if you're going to do it. Laura said, yes, please invite him back. Well, how about we get what I'd love to do, honestly. So we've got 5 or 6 contracts going on right now. Ashley's about to bring us the FSBO this afternoon. How about we bring 5 FSBOs in the next week? I mean, how many guys? There's like 400 of us. How hard could it be to get 5 FSBOs? We should be doing that in normal business, never mind when we're saying, here's a silver platter with your cash offer on it. Especially the ones that have been on for 2 or 3 weeks. They're about to go with a realtor anyway. So you may as well go and see them, see if you can get the traditional listing, or give them that. Maybe we should have a silver platter. We take the offering on. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? All right, my dears. Anything else? Any thoughts, ahas? Did you like having a guest?
Yeah, it was really valuable. That's why I was like, please invite him back.
Yeah.
And this isn't anything different than I think the message you're delivering. And I think it's one of those things, sometimes you can't be a prophet in your own land, right? It's just hearing it from somebody else, the same things that you've shared with us. And sometimes it just hits different, or it just hits on the right day. So thank you for inviting Peter. He was great.
Of course, I've got all kinds of people like that at my sleeves. I think some of our team leaders should come on as well. And you're exactly right. Thou shalt not proselytize at home. All right, my loves, go get them. So how many are we going to do this week? 10 Fizbos. 10. Remember, you can find them on Zillow if you can't find them anywhere else. I'll see you all soon. Bye.